All right, I'm back.
I'm back.
If you let those big internet companies tell the story of how their product has helped various communities, rather if it's the car community, the tech community, or whatnot, they always make it sound like now there's this oasis where all of these like-minded people are coming together, they're sharing ideas, they're exchanging thoughts and feelings, and everything's just perfect. But the problem is, like, that's often not the case. Like, if you've spent any amount of time on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter, sometimes people can just be downright hostile, and it's kind of ridiculous. So, like, what's the big deal? Where did it all go wrong?
At last the roof goes on, and nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong!
So let's talk about what this video is not. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't go out to the internet and go to forums and go to YouTube and go to TikTok because like for real, I'm not dumb. Where am I right now? I'm on your screen. Like, I'm not dumb enough to tell you to not watch stuff on the internet while simultaneously making videos on the internet. Like, please watch my content. But what I am trying to say is that the way that we engage with the internet and with social media as car enthusiasts, something has to change. Like, there are some major issues here. And really, when I look at the car community and I look at a lot of the problems that not just I complain about, but it seems like everybody complains about, but nobody actually wants to address, there are really like three main issues going around that I think we just kind of need to keep in mind when engaging with each other on the internet. When you think about the internet or social media, I look at it just like any other tool in this garage, and specifically a hammer. A hammer can be super useful. I mean, you can pound out some body work, you can use a hammer to build a house, you can do all types of constructive stuff with a hammer, or you can just break somebody's windows out. Now, does that mean that we need to outlaw hammers and that you need to have a license to be able to use a hammer? No, you just need to be more thoughtful about how you're using this tool. And when I think about how the car community has been using the hammer of the internet and social media, I've seen both sides of it. And unfortunately, it feels like the car community is trending towards using the hammer that is the internet as more of a destructive tool. And ever since I made my YouTube channel, I've always kind of wanted to cover this subject because it feels like there are really three main problems with how the car community engages with the internet. But I feel like the first step to people being able to handle and deal with this situation is to actually understand what is going on in the community. And the first negative effects I've seen come to the car community from the internet is something called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Now, this isn't unique or new to the car community. This actually exists pretty much anywhere in any field where there are knowledgeable people. To be a car person or a car guy, you have to have some base level of knowledge. Even if you are just starting out, you have some knowledge there. You really do. So give yourself credit for that. Where the problem comes in is with the Dunning-Kruger Effect. In terms of how confident a person feels in their skills and abilities is directly correlated to the amount of time that they have experience. Since social media has come around, there have been a lot of people who have found the hobby. There's just a ton of new people around. And I'm not going to be one of those crusty dudes that sits around and be like, well, the hobby was much better before everybody started doing it. Man, get that out of here. Like, the more people doing rad car stuff, the better. It just is. Just get over yourself. Where the problem is that with all of these new people in the car community, the Dunning-Kruger effect has been pretty much running rampant within our community. Basically, what the Dunning-Kruger effect is this phenomenon where basically the less experienced that a person is, the more confident they feel in their assertions. Basically, what that means is the time that somebody is the most confident about their knowledge and skills is precisely when they know the least. Bruh. And there's actually nothing wrong with people who do that. One of the scientists who actually discovered this phenomenon said that it's part of our human nature to not actually understand the level of our own ignorance. So it's part of being a human. And, well, you know what they say. The first rule of the Dunning-Kruger Club is, you don't know your part of it. Okay, so if the Dunning-Kruger effect has been around for a while, it's not new to social media, and it's not unique to car culture, why are we even talking about it? Well, when we apply it to our hobby, this is basically the situation that we have going on. We have lots of new people all the time just coming into the hobby because social media and TikTok, its algorithm is doing its thing. And new people are here and they're excited. That's great. The problem comes when those new people start going around and then they start sharing information that isn't actually true. And then the internet turns into this big echo chamber of all these people who don't actually know what they're talking about. And then ironically, the second half of the Dunning-Kruger effect is that the more experienced you become in the field, the less confident you feel about speaking up. And so then you have this situation where all of these people who don't really know what they're talking about but are hyper confident are now just on the internet just pouring all of this misinformation out. And then you have people who are legitimate experts afraid to speak up. And then when one of them does, the overwhelming voice of everybody who doesn't know what they're talking about kind of drowns it out. This is a terrible problem. Now, am I suggesting that you should never go online and say anything because you might be wrong? Well, no, I've made mistakes in my own video, and you guys have corrected me. And that's exactly what we should do. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to speak or share information online. And really, that's the way it should be. I made a mistake, somebody was more knowledgeable and corrected me, and I put that information in the video description. And then that way, as a car community, we can learn and grow together. So there's nothing wrong with making a mistake and somebody else correcting you. The problem comes when you are so confident that what you said was right, that you don't take the time to consider that somebody else's viewpoint might be more experienced and have more context than what you fully understand. Now, if you've ever tried to correct somebody on the internet, you probably have noticed that it just doesn't go over well. It's always a disaster. And I think that's because for some reason, car culture is really becoming this culture of being professional haters. Now, what I'm not talking about are friendly rivalries. I think the car community was built on that. It's always been Mustangs versus Camaros, RX-7s versus Apex Seals, BMW versus Audi. That's not what I'm talking about, because those types of rivalries and those types of friendly competitions, that's great for the car community. Those types of rivalries, that's not the problem. I think those are great in the car community. It makes life, much more interesting when everybody is into something different. And I'm also not suggesting that you have to like every single car out there, because I don't. And I don't expect you to like every single car that I have. That's unreasonable. What I'm talking about are the types of interactions and conversations that we have in the car community that clearly cross the line. To me, there's a clear difference between disliking something and being disrespectful. And unfortunately, it feels like the car community has pivoted to this idea of the way that you garner respect for yourself and respect for your car and the things that you have is by going out and disrespecting somebody else and taking it from them. That's ridiculous. Like, that's childish and immature. Just let it go. Like, it's corny, bro. Stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
In my time of car ownership since about 2011, I've had some people say some pretty ridiculously wild things to me, not just online, but also in person. And I don't know what the purpose of it is. Now, that type of behavior where you feel like you have to go somewhere and disrespect somebody else to assert your dominance, that doesn't make you look more manly, like Giga Chad, or like you're the boss of the car meet or anything stupid like that. At the end of the day, it just reeks of insecurity, and everybody around you knows it. I mean, just stop doing that. And I can already hear people in my non-existent comment section talking about, oh, well, there's just some builds that I don't like. Bro, there's lots of builds that I don't like, but I never get so much in my feels that I have to walk my fat self across the parking lot to tell somebody I don't like their WRX. What's the purpose of that? They like their car, I like my car, I'm gonna go make V8 noises. Why don't you do the same? Honestly, when you have those types of interactions with people in the car community, there's really only two outcomes from that. One, you say something ridiculous like that to somebody like me, and 15 seconds later, I don't even remember what you said. I couldn't be bothered to care. So what?
Oh no. Anyway.
And then secondly, if there's somebody who's brand new to the car community, they've just bought their first car, like a GTI or a Veloster, and you've just gone over there and disrespected them in front of the entire meet, they're probably going to leave the car community. And why? Because somebody was a tool and felt the need to go over and disrespect somebody, not welcoming them to the car community, not having constructive conversations with them, because that's what helps our hobby grow. That's what helps our community grow. And if you want to continue to see aftermarket parts, you want to continue to see open track days, there has to be people in this community. This community has to continue to grow, because there has to be people to buy the projects. And the last thing that I'll talk about today, because I am desperately running out of attention span, is this trend of building cars or selecting parts for your build based on what's going to be popular on the internet. Like, just stop that. Stop that. Twitter's not a real place. Stop doing that. Now, I'm about to plagiarize from the guys from Mighty Car Mods because they said it pretty much as accurately as I think it was then, and it still is now. It's almost kind of a ritual for car guys to buy a car, rush out to the internet, go to the forums, go to the Reddits, go to the TikToks, and then ask everybody what they should do to their car. Everybody modifies their car in the same exact way, and then we all just like run around and be happy that we all now have 30,000 identical E36s. Like, bro, stop doing that. Like, that's just, oh my God.
Oh, you have an E36 too?
Yeah.
What's done to it?
Well, it's got depot headlights, BBS style 5s, an M3 rep bumper, and a lightweight wing.
Wow, so unique.
Thanks, man.
If that is how you are engaging with the car community, I encourage you to take a really, really deep, long think about why you are here. Because to me, that is not the reason why you should be a car person. You should not be a car guy just to get fake internet points from other people. Because at the end of the day, it should not matter if somebody else likes your car or if you like somebody else's car. I think one of the most dangerous things that we have learned from social media, and not just us as car enthusiasts, I think the entire world is slowly learning this, and it's pretty terrible, is this idea that your digital existence and your digital life is worth much more than your happiness in your physical, real life. And that's just a sad way to live. And I want better for me, and I want better for you. So let's not do that anymore. Let's build cars because we like them. Because every time we turn the key, it makes us happy. Let's not build cars because every time we post a picture, we get 500,000 likes. Like I would know about getting 500,000 views on anything. Because ultimately, if we are just running around and chasing the popularity online, we're not chasing real world interactions with people. We're chasing the algorithm. And I don't think the car enthusiast hobby should be reduced down to what an algorithm does or doesn't like. We shouldn't buy wheels based on what an algorithm does or doesn't want to show us. We should buy wheels based on what our own personal feelings and thoughts about them are. All right, so we got to wrap this video up because the GoPro battery died, and I put a new battery in, then it overheated, and then I ran out of attention span. So now it's a completely different day. I'm wearing different clothes, but I don't really care about continuity because I've seen my channel analytics, and I know nobody besides my 6 friends are actually watching the video to this point. So let's wrap this thing up. So I've pointed out all these horrible things that social media and the internet is doing to car culture. What's the solution? What are we going to do about it? And I think it's actually pretty simple. The biggest problem that I see that these 3 things have done to the car community is that it just makes people take themselves way too seriously. And I mean, I guess if you are a professional racer, you are a Ryan Turk, or you're a Max Verstappen, or you're a professional engine builder like, I don't know, Brian Tooley or something like that, yeah, then take this stuff seriously. But for me and a majority of my friends, and I'm willing to bet a majority of the people who are watching this channel right now, that's not you. I mean, that's not me. I'm just a nurse. I'm a nurse full time, and all this like cracked out car guy stuff is just my hobby. And the problem that I see is when people take themselves way too seriously, it amplifies the three things that we talked about earlier. When people take themselves super seriously, they can't really stand the fact that they may be wrong about something. But if you kind of take yourself less seriously and you're just there to have fun, if you say something wrong and somebody tries to correct you, you'll learn something. And just be chill about it. And then when it comes to your social interactions with the community, we all know nobody wants to go to a car meet and absolutely be demolished by everybody for 3 hours straight. That's just going to make people leave the community, and that's just going to make people not want to interact with the community. There's no purpose in that. And the thing that I think is kind of crazy is that the people who are professional haters, they don't even like hanging out with people like themselves. If you look at the people they hang out with, they are the people who are chill and cool and who are able to make jokes, not people who are professional haters all the time. So why would you want to be somebody that you don't even want to hang out with yourself? That just doesn't make any sense. So if you think that somebody is cool, somebody is chill, why not just be that guy? Having just a more friendly and relaxed nature with the car community, people will want to be around you, and you will find people that you want to be around. That completely solves our professional hater situation. And then finally, if you stop taking yourself just so dang seriously, you're going to have a whole lot more fun with your car. Because if you're not just building a car for somebody else's approval out there, you're going to do all the fun things that you like doing with cars, regardless of if somebody online likes it or not. And if there's one piece of advice or one takeaway that you take from this video, it's purely that. Just skip the professional hating, skip the professional standing on business, knowing that I know I'm right, and just don't take yourself so seriously. Just have fun. Be an amateur blockhead. Get something half fixed and full send it. I mean, that's what I've done with all this junk here. If I was concerned with how other people online were perceiving me, I mean, I wouldn't have made a cell-shaded M3. I wouldn't have bought two S4s. Oh, timeout. Quick channel update. I bought a second S4. So content's coming for that soon because the wagon S4 needs control arms and the sedan S4 needs everything. But once you start letting all of the social media and the internet implications just fade away and kind of focus on why we do this car hobby, why we are addicted to carcane, you will find yourself doing things that you've always wanted to do and unlocking that creativity. You'll go out there and buy that project car that nobody ever likes and somehow end up buying two of them. And then you'll go out to the junkyard and find that $100 engine. You'll find that $100 07K. May not even have a plan for it. You may just only have bought it so that you can, learn for yourself and be able to figure out how this engine works and expand your knowledge. And once you just let all that stuff just fade away and stop caring about what people are going to say about your car in a Facebook group, stop caring about what people are going to think about you or the mods that you did in a TikTok video or how many people are even watching your terrible YouTube channels videos, and just start doing stuff because you like it and you're having fun doing it, I guarantee you will have so much fun and so much love for this hobby.